You're listening to the KATcast, a weekly podcast from the staff you love to listen to each weekday on 94.3 Cat Country. Hilly and Hart and Jordan J. Now, here they are, talking about life, love, and everything mid-Missouri.
Well, welcome to another edition of the KATcast with myself, Aaron Hart, Kevin Hilly, and Jordan J. Today, we're talking about school lunches. We know kids are gearing up for school and everything, and I'm not going to lie, I got some fond memories of school lunches.
You know, me too, actually. There's a lot of lunches that growing up that I loved, and there was some that also I was like, I'm not eating today.
I have a mixed memory of school lunches because my mom, I like the things my mom used to pack for me. But if I was occasionally in a situation where I had to buy lunch, can I give you an example?
Yeah.
The thing they used to call pizza, and again, I'm a product of the New Jersey public educational system. Any of my former school friends who are watching this or listening to this are going to be nodding their head. What they called pizza was basically a slice of white bread with tomato sauce and cheese on it, and they called that pizza. Okay, it was kind of like we were in a, I don't know,
not
Vietnamese prison camp or something.
I was going to say, not here in mid-Missouri. That would not have passed.
You know what we get? You know what we got growing up? Every Friday, was this like for you? Every Friday was pizza day. Was that like a thing for you all?
It's been too long for me to remember.
It was close, and if it wasn't, it was something that was highly popular.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was every Friday for us. Every Friday, we knew it was on the menu, pizza. It's like they conditioned you, which is weird because even as an adult now, like Fridays pop up, and I'm kind of like, why ain't cooking tonight?
Well,
pizza.
You know why it was pizzas on Friday? Because it was just like these cafeteria staff felt the same way as everybody else. It's Friday.
Cooking.
Serve us some pizza.
I remember there were the Tostino party pack pizzas.
Good.
That's what they would get.
I love those.
And because we have the tray, and it would have like the rectangle, it would fit perfectly in that little rectangle and everything.
Had they served that, I'd have happy memories of school pizza.
That's what we had for our pizza.
Well, I remember seeing the pans once that they made our pizzas in, and they're huge, and they would cut it into squares. And a lot of times you could get like, cheese or pepperoni or some sausage or cheese or some, they kind of mix it up. So you at least had a choice between the two.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, shout out to Callaway Hills Elementary, because our lunch ladies had it going on. They did such amazing things in the kitchen, and it was good.
Yeah.
It was like, kind of thick, but not too thick. It was never doughy, but they would load it up with toppings. Like there was a lot of cheese, or there was, a lot of sausage or a lot of pepperoni and some cheese.
Right.
They did a good job. Like we looked forward to it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing and again, when Jordan mentions the Totinos,
Yes.
They're delicious. They are loaded with sodium, though, just so you know.
100%.
I did a quick little search. 750 milligrams sodium in one serving.
That's only 32% of your daily value.
And what we would do, too, and it's funny because, it's pretty good pizza. It's not terrible, but, having it every Friday, it gets bland. Like, eventually, you're kind of like, okay, need something different.
Can we have something
So
else
what we started to do was just drown the pizza in ranch. Like, you'd see everyone's tray would have tons of ranch dressing on it because everyone was just dipping their pizza in ranch and eating it, just to give it a little bit of a different taste.
Wow. Okay.
Well, this is the Midwest. Ranch is the official, dressing of...
I always liked when winter came around because the school would make chili. Not only that, they'd make homemade cinnamon rolls to serve with your chili.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I remember going home and telling my mom, we don't have cornbread with our chili. We have cinnamon rolls. She's like, you're going to eat your cornbread and like it. But yeah,
this ain't no fancy school you're at.
To this day, yeah, I have a bowl of chili and immediately I'm like, ooh, a cinnamon roll sounds good. Immediately.
You just associate it with that.
Yeah.
It's like Pavlov's dog. Like, you get that. It's like an experiment. They're like, we're going to give them cinnamon rolls with their chili. So when they get older, they get chili and they're like, I'm wanting a cinnamon roll now too.
And those cinnamon rolls, they were soft and, had a lot of stuff in the middle, lots of good, cinnamon flavor and, the icing on top, even though it had melted, from them putting it on when they were still warm, there was still quite a bit on there. And I'm an icing fan. They really did it up right.
See, we never got anything like that unless it was breakfast time. Like breakfast time, there was the breakfast. Like if it was lunch, there was never any breakfast items that you could get.
Well, see, now your generation, maybe yours too, Aaron. Mine, kids didn't eat breakfast in school.
Oh, really?
I mean, the breakfast was like a home thing. They had not begun, hey, there's a lot of kids that aren't eating right at home. Let's have breakfast. Lunch was it. Lunch was our meal. That was it.
Say they started that maybe 5th or 6th grade, but no, I mean, Mom always fed us at home.
I never ate breakfast at school. I always wanted to eat breakfast before I got to school. I always ate at home. I had like a bowl of cereal or whatever, whatever I could find, around the house.
All right, well, let me ask you now. When you weren't buying lunch at school, what did Mom pack? Or what did you pack for yourself if you were one of those kids, which I wasn't?
I got to be honest, I normally ate school lunches. I didn't normally take, I think once or twice, I think I actually took my lunch to school. And when I did, it made me feel real special, right? Because everyone else is getting, that's what you're assigned. And all of a sudden I pull out a thermos of SpaghettiOs, baby. All the kids are like, is that SpaghettiOs?
Was that the thermos with the metal inside?
Yeah, And it was like, it's insulated. So like the SpaghettiOs, they were like, like my mom would, she's like, here's the SpaghettiOs, she'd like make them for me. They were all hot and they'd stay hot like until lunchtime. I'd steam
You were living the life of Riley, man. You were
that some delicious like soup. Like Mom would always put it in like a little thermos too. I could drink like the broth. Oh man.
Okay, so we normally eat school lunches too, but every once in a while, and I'm guessing because like our lunch card had run out, of money.
Right.
Mom would say, okay, for the rest of the week, we gotta bring lunch from home. And my brother and I, we just throw a fit. Oh, but we want school lunch, Mom. And so anyway,
we want school lunch, Mom.
So she'd pack his Fall Guy lunch, lunch box. I had a Care Bears one at the time. But she would never put anything hot in our thermos.
Yeah.
She'd always put milk. This big
giant thing of milk.
Sometimes we'd get lucky and she'd surprise us with chocolate milk in there. But normally, it was just, Mom drinks skim milk, so we all drink skim milk.
Yeah, see, I grew up on skim milk too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
But, it was always a sandwich, a bag of chips, or sometimes if we didn't have chips, she'd do like cheese and crackers, and it was just like little munchy stuff. If we had apples, she'd throw an apple in there, nothing super fancy, but yeah, I just remember those giant thermoses of milk.
My mom would make us a sandwich, whatever kind of PBJ, maybe something like that, or a lunch meat, whatever it might have been. You know what we used to have? You ever have the Carl Buddings?
Oh yeah, all the little packs.
Love those.
What are you talking about? What is it?
So it was like thinly sliced lunch meat, and it was a lot of slices, but then they were like compressed together.
Oh, okay.
And you could either just put the whole slab on your sandwich,
turkey,
or if your mom had time,
right,
she would lovingly take each one off.
one by one, and
kind of layer it on your sandwich.
Nice,
so your sandwich would look a little fluffier.
We used to say, could you make me a turkey sandwich or a ham, whatever.
Yeah.
I like the turkey, Carl Budding turkey. Anyway, those were really good. So we'd have those for lunch a lot. My mom would make a sandwich, mayo, and whatever. Put whatever else in it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we always had tasty cakes of some kind. If you're not familiar, tasty cakes or a Philadelphia area snack cake. Think Little Debbie's, that kind of thing, okay? But with the cupcakes with the the frosting on top.
Oh yeah.
Well, I brought you guys in.
The candy cakes.
Yeah, right. And so we'd always have those in there, and then usually again like a thermos, and it was in my Superman what do you call it? Lunchbox, metal lunchbox, and it had a thermos in there, milk. Most of the time, I liked milk.
Okay,
and that's what was in there. Happy memories.
I'll tell you what. So one day I got screwed out of lunch because growing up, my taste buds have changed a lot. I kind of like cornbread now a little bit. I hated corn dogs growing up. I can stand mini corn dogs now, kind of. But line A. We got two lines. It was line A and line B for lunch. Line A was corn dog. Line B was mini corn dog.
Oh!
And at the time, I didn't like cornbread at all, right? Still not a huge fan of cornbread.
Talk about a Sophie's
choice. So I'm like, what do I eat today? And so you know what they ended up doing, the lunch ladies?
Oh, God, I can't wait to hear this.
They made me a pimento cheese sandwich.
Oh, hey.
What kind of special privileged character were you?
I know. Because there was nothing for me to eat.
I'm Jordan. I got a special lunch.
I don't like
I guess they
cornbread.
felt bad because they were like, well, he's not eating now. now, and he doesn't like what, and this corn dog on both, so they maybe have
It
pimento
was like
cheese.
the equivalent of a hunger strike here, and you realize
Nice,
that?
I know, man.
My dad growing up said that
My school, they would have been like, starve.
Yeah,
Go eat lunch.
Yeah.
You know?
My dad said growing up too, and I don't know if this ever happened at any of your schools, but he said that there was always a giant block of cheese. They would have this giant block of cheese, and and he said it would just get moldy. They just have it out forever. They'd never put it away. It'd get moldy. They just cut off the mold and continue eating it.
Yeah, don't remember that happening in my school.
It was like a giant block of government cheese or something.
I'll tell you, my favorite meals growing up, though, so line B always came with the salad, which means you could always get a lot of food, right? Like so tacos were always on line B. Dude, I would have so much lettuce piled up in between these, like they give you, here's a couple of flour tortillas, and my plate, dude, looked like a mountain. I kid you not, just piled up with lettuce, and then they'd get in it. There was like a very specific kind of taco sauce. I wish I knew that. And me and my sister have been trying to find this taco sauce forever because it's the best. But just drowned it. Like there's sauce dripping off the plate. It was like, I don't know if you've ever, there's a restaurant in Columbia called Hoo Ha. You know, when you put so much sauce in the bowl, it's dripping everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what my tray looked like at lunch.
Now you're making me want Hoo Ha. Thanks, Jordan.
Yes, but
Thanks a lot.
tacos and then potato bar. We'd always have like, a baked potato with like chili and cheese
What kind
on
of
it.
fancy school did you go to? We never had no
man.
potato bar.
Would you go to
Potato
school, Beverly
bar.
Hills or something?
Yeah.
You know?
Kidding.
Boomville.
You guys want to be shocked at something because you mentioned tacos.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I'm not exaggerating, I don't think I ever tasted a taco till I was like maybe in my 20s.
Dude,
Maybe
what?
New Jersey
mid-20s.
guys.
Tacos growing up were definitely not a thing on the East Coast, at least in, Jersey and everything. And there was finally there was like one.
Well, you all had Philly cheesesteaks. You didn't need tacos.
Exactly. Yeah, that was our tacos.
Get Philly cheesesteak
cheesesteaks.
days.
Yeah. But then we came here, obviously I knew, what it was. But I had never really had a taco in my life. So that was
Wow, really?
Well, one of my favorite things that we had, and it was a dessert, and it was oh so good. So I remember calling them peanut butter bars. Okay, so it was some sort of peanut butter. It wasn't a paste, but it wasn't runny or anything. But they never baked them. It was like a no-bake dessert. And then there was a thick layer of chocolate on top, almost like a chocolate ganache. But we were so excited, and I don't know why, because thinking back, it's kind of gross. You would have it on like your little paper plate,
Right.
but the grease stain would radiate out.
It's still growing.
Those. And I mean, to this day, if
Like
if
a
I had
no-bake
choice,
bar or something?
something like that, I would totally eat one right now. So good.
The grease that wouldn't stop.
I don't know what was in there.
Kept going.
Obviously some type of oil or butter or something to make that grease stain, but
That is crazy.
So about halfway through lunch every single day, they would roll out a snack cart, and you could go up and you have to use more of your lunch money to buy whatever was on the snack cart. But they'd roll out little Debbie snack cakes. You could get sweet teas. There was all this crazy
again,
stuff.
what kind of school did
I
you
know.
go to?
And it was they do this every we got 20 minutes for lunch. About 10 minutes into lunch, they'd roll out the snack cart. We had an ice cream machine.
Would you go to Hogwarts?
That also, as soon as the snack cart rolled out, you could also go and get ice cream if you wanted to. The ice cream was made, they had a little machine there. It was always served by our principal and our assistant principal. I got free ice cream every day.
He went to 90210.
No.
I'm telling you, man.
Again, and you had to pay, it was like...
Was Dylan there,
No.
too?
50 cents is how much it cost for an ice cream. You actually had to give them 50 cents of real cash, right?
Yeah.
And so I would just go up with 1 quarter every single day. And there would just be a giant, a thing of quarters, in the little machine that you drop in, and then they give you the ice cream. Well, sorry, Mr. Edwards. I would go up every single day and just clink my 1 quarter against all the other quarters.
Right.
I would just tap the quarters a couple times.
Yeah.
And he thought that I put 50 cents in. And so I just get a free ice cream every single day.
Well, now we
Edwards
know.
is going to be calling, and
Mr.
he's
Edwards,
going to hand you a
I'm
bill.
sorry.
Mr. Edwards, on behalf of all of us here at
We're
Zimmer
very sorry.
Communications.
We did not raise
Hey,
him that way.
he's good friends
Mr.
with my
Edwards.
dad, too, so that's even worse, right? But,
There's things about this I could say right now, and I won't.
So
okay.
if they still do that at Boonville, there's a little hack for you, but now they're going to know.
You got Boonville kids listening right now. Got it. Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.
Clink
There's my
the
life
quarter
hacks.
Twice.
Yes. I also got into a movie for free one time, but that's a story for another day.
This is not so much lunch related, but cafeteria related. Do you guys ever have fights in your cafeteria?
Every
knock
once in
down,
a while.
drag out.
Every
I
once
had
in a while.
one time there was a kid literally he waited, he finished his lunch, he went and dumped everything off of his tray and then took the tray and like whacked another kid like right in the head. It was crazy.
Now that never happened in grade school, but yeah.
No, I'm talking high school.
I saw that go
yeah.
down in high school a couple times.
I remember a couple of times guys just kind of getting into it and wailing. And sure enough, you'd have a couple of teachers come in, drag them apart.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
now there's been
this
some
is like TV.
It never happened in the cafeteria. The fights that I always like saw or experienced were like in between class. Like I'm like,
like in the hallway, you mean? Or something.
There's one time, I kid you not. There's one time I was walking by the library. The library doors burst open, and there's two girls just fighting each other, going at it. They're pulling each other's hair. They're wrestling on the ground.
Okay.
I was like, whoa!
I know this is going to be not PC to say girl fights were the best. I'm sorry. You girls fight. It's very entertaining. Okay? Because with girls, there's no rules. Guys have rules.
True.
Girls have no rules when it's fighting.
True.
It's just like
it's very true.
Everything is
I mean, it was
it's
crazy.
open season.
It was crazy.
Okay, see, I was always the kid that avoided a fight. If one broke out in the hallway in front of me, here's me with my backpack going, I ain't gonna have detention. I gotta get to my class.
Isn't that always funny too? And it's like, and everyone watches the fight for a while before helping. Isn't that funny? It's like, well, listen, hold on.
I almost think it's like a shock value.
I
You're
know.
just kind of like, is this really happening?
Oh, it's that, or like it's like everyone's like waiting to be like, be like, all right, oh, now it's too much. Everyone's waiting for it. Oh, they're kicking each other. Oh, hold on.
It was like, it would become something out of like Mad Max. You know, like you got a circle of people in the middle. It's like, two enter, only one leaves. You know. Well, I remember once, seriously, two guys.
We'll have to get into school fights another.
Yes, that has to be another.
Two guys were in a fight, and I'm telling you, one won, quote unquote, and he jumped on the bus, right? As he gets on the bus, Mr. Metzger, I remember the teacher, Mr. Metzger, he runs, tackles the guy, and pulls him off the bus. Like, wow! Man, I couldn't have written a script like this, you know?
In the meantime, kids, don't get into a fight at school. It's not worth the
It's
detention.
not worth it.
It's not worth getting grounded by your parents. It's just not worth it. Just avoid them at all.
But you know what is worth it?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Delicious lunch.
The voice of sanity, Aaron Hart.
Exactly.
And all this lunch talk got me hungry. I got to go get something to eat.
Exactly.
So we need to call this a podcast.
I would say so.
And go eat, okay?
Yes.
School lunches, what was your favorite? We would love to know.
Share your memory. Yeah. We'd like to, what was your
least favorite thing?
Yeah,
What'd you like? What'd you hate?
at mailzimmer.com.
And thanks for joining us for this edition of the Cat Country KATcast.
You've been listening to the KATcast, your weekly dose of fun from the staff you know and love on 94.3 Cat Country. Click subscribe and never miss an episode. Share it on social media and tell your friends with 94.3 Cat Country.